Hello viewers, Alan here. Welcome back to the workshop. In this video I fix a problem with the variable speed head unit on my milling machine, which I gather is fairly common, but let's get straight into it. So another repair on the milling machine, not related to the previous one, it's just coincidence. So this is the lower half of the motor pulley, and it slides on that shaft to change the diameter of the where the belt's contacting. As supplied in the factory, it had these two crappy plastic bushes in there, actually in like that. These collars engage in a groove down here. So there's a pair of these things back to back like that, and they make up the gap between the bore and the shaft. But as you can see, they've both catastrophically failed. The first one actually failed a long time ago. You possibly can't see it, but that's a dirty edge there. And when I actually pulled the motor out last time for the previous repair, I did find a small plastic piece floating around, but I didn't know where it had come from, and it just looked like it was an alien, so I ignored it. Anyway, clearly it was from there. But more recently, the other one decided that its time was up, and that piece broke off. Anyway, the end result was this lower half was wobbling about on the end of the shaft and making a racket. So I contacted the supplier, and they said, yeah, we know about these plastic bushes, they cause trouble. Great, well, can I buy some? No. Right, so now I have to make a pair of these. They're very thin, but to give you the dimensions, the ID is 28mm to match the shaft, OD 30mm for the hole, so they're a millimetre thick, very thin wall bushes. And this collar around the top is obviously slightly larger diameter and a couple of mil wide, and there's a groove down in here that this engages in. So when you go to put it in, this collar has to fit in through the hole. So whatever this bush gets made out of has to be flexible enough to tolerate that. And of course there's also the keyway here, so the bush has to be split anyway to make way for this. But assembling the broken bits onto the most complete of these things, the split gap was about 17mm. Well, I think that's a bit bigger than it needs to be, so I'm going to make replacements which have a 10mm gap. Now, I'm denied about material. My first thought was phosphor bronze, and I might yet do that, but it's not so easy to find. Whereas this stuff, this is acetyl, it's a Delrin clone. It's actually Susterin, I think, is the name, but it's basically the same material or very similar. It's an engineering grade plastic that you can machine. So I'm going to put this in the lathe and see if I can make a pair of these. Get out of it. See if I can make a pair of these. Anyway, I haven't used it before, so I did a trial run, and that's my first effort. And it's pretty close to what I need, but I made it a little bit tight on the shaft, so I've got to make two again, and I'll have aim for a looser fit on the motor shaft. So I'm aiming for an OD on the collar of 32.6, and the collar's going to be 2mm wide. The main body will have an OD of 30.1. That's to go into a 30mm hole. And so basically the extra 0.01 will guarantee a little bit of preload so that the bush tends to stay hugging the inside of the hole. So currently on 32.6, I've got 2.5 to come off. I think I'll do it in two passes. Let's take 1.3 off the diameter for this one. So I was going for 31.3, 31.29, so I might just adjust the DRO for that. So now we're shooting for 30.1 as final size. So hopefully we hit 30.1. Yeah, it's close enough. Right, so get set up to take some material out the middle. So to make this hole, I'm starting off with a slot drill, which can drill a flat bottom hole. That will just minimise wastage of the material. And this guy is really sharp, so it seemed to work pretty well on that first trial piece that I did. I slowed the spindle down to 380 because I don't want to overheat the plastic. So regarding the diameter of the bore, I made a mistake with the first one. I made it at 28.02, but that's just too tight. So this next one I'll make with an internal bore of 28.06, and hopefully that will work out a bit better. So from my experience with the test part that I made, boring passes with a millimetre depth of cut or 2 millimetres off the diameter seemed to work quite well. Didn't stress the material or the tool or anything, so that's what I'm going to be doing. A quick check, that should be 18.1 over. Okay. We're shooting for 22 then. Looks like we're right on the money this time. Now I think I better also check the OD, see how much all of the slots affecting that. Oh well, I'm not going to complain about that. So this should be final pass to hit 28.06. Let's see what we got. So hopefully we're on 28.06. Oh, you got lucky there. So this is a scrap part left over from one of the engine builds, but it's right on 28mm size. That's lovely. It's a nice sliding fit, which is what we want for the this piece. I mean, there needs to be a little bit of sliding room, not least because I made the OD 0.01 big, and so it will close down a little bit on the shaft. But that feels pretty good. I think it'll be alright. So, part it off. Well, that's the lathe work finished, so now I have to cut the split in the side and see if it fits. So I think making these cuts is best done with one of these fine tooth X-Acto saws. This cut doesn't have to be fantastically accurate. Somewhere near the lines will be good enough. Make sure I don't shorten the fingers while I'm doing it. Right, just clean that cut up a bit. Right, so that's cleaned up alright. Now it's time to see whether it fits. Right, so it has to go in that way around. And that's the reason why it's such a big gap, by the way, so that it can squidge up and get in there. Didn't go in quite the right place, did it? Hopefully we'll go swing around. Oh yeah. Looks like clearance on that key will be fairly close. But there is clearance, that's what we need. Alright, but for the big question, how happy is it to go on here? Well, of course, if I put it on the right way around, it would help. It's a bit tight. I thought I'd made enough allowance for it, but I think that's too tight. I can make looks like I'm going to be making 4. Oh well. Well, it took another couple of goes before I got the recipe correct, but I've got 2 bushes in here now, which give the fit that exactly the fit that I was looking for. I've got the key in as well. But that's exactly the fit I was looking for. So now I can reassemble the motor, put this bloody great big spring back on, and get the thing installed back in the machine. So somehow I managed to lose a part of the video that covered the actual installation of the spring, but there are 2 M5 threaded holes in the spring seat, and I was able to use a couple of pieces of threaded rod to compress the spring. It gets held in this compressed position by an anchor plate and a circlip. The video you're seeing now picks up after fitting the circlip and catches me checking that the circlip is fully engaged in a rather shallow groove and sticking my head in the way, so sorry about that. I don't know why they made that groove so shallow, but I'd have a lot more confidence in it if it was deeper. Anyway, it is what it is. I guess the machine has operated basically correctly for 8 years, so alright, let's get these nuts off and these threaded rods out. Now, one of the things the manual, for what it's worth, suggests is when the motor's out, keeping a couple of safety bolts in there. Sounds like pretty good advice to me. And we'll put these in and take them out after we've got the motor back installed. So I've just done those safety bolts up very lightly, so most of the pressure is still on that circlip. Alright, well, I think this motor can go back in now. So time to get it off the workbench, down on the ground, and then over to the milling machine. I think it's down now. Not sure exactly what changed, but suddenly it's happy to go in. But that bolt still doesn't want to go in. I'll bring the ladder around so I can look down on it. Be alright if I can get it started. Alright, it's started. The hole in the casting is out of position. Alright, that's all 4 bolts started. 3 of them going in easily. 1 fighting because the hole in the casting's in the wrong place. Alright, that's that excitement over. So the machine's back together and the repair's completed, and actually the machine now is running as quietly as it's done for a long time. I hadn't realised just how much noise had crept in. Let's see if I can do a bit of a demo somewhere. So the constantly variable transmission now runs smoothly through all of its through its whole range, and doesn't make any weird noises. So very happy. Well, maybe there's some bits and pieces in that video that will give you some assistance if you've got a noise in your machine. But yeah, the design using those plastic bushes is definitely suspect. In fact, I wonder how long my Susterin replacements will last. But anyway, they were easy enough to make, so if I have to do that again in 8-10 years, well, so be it. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'm going to get back to my regular programming. Cheers.